Hey, what's up, Sumo-lings? I'm Christy with AppSumo. Happy Friday. Thank you for tuning in today. Today, I'm joined by David, who is the founder of Draftium. David, welcome. Happy to have you.
Yeah, hello guys. Nice to see you. Sorry for a shitty picture from the camera. I just stopped by in the restaurant and they have no proper lighting. So sorry for that.
It's mood lighting. It's webinar lighting.
It's dark. My dark power. I'm gonna show you my dark power with Draftium.
Yes, awesome. So for most of you that are here, you probably know what Draftium is, but just in the event that you don't, it is a website prototyping tool that's on AppSumo right now for only $39 for a lifetime membership. And in a second, David's just going to take you through a demo and a walkthrough of the software. He's also going to take you through some use cases, which I think is going to be very helpful for you. But in the meantime, if you've never seen one of our webinars before, right now you see the both of us. In a second, David's going to take over and I'm going to shut down my camera and microphone. At any point during the webinar, if you have questions for the team, go ahead and put them in the chat box. And then at the end of the webinar, I'll come back on and ask David all your questions. I'll also be sending out a replay of this webinar later today, just in case you can't stay until the end. We think it'll be between 30 minutes to an hour. Try and keep things as concise as possible for you. Let me just make sure that people are here. Let me check the chat box. Oh yeah, we already got people saying hi.
I see already people there.
Cleveland,
from Germany, California. Yeah, so many people from different part of the world. That's cool, guys. I'm in Kiev right now. It's super snowing here, -5. It's crazy weather. So I really enjoy seeing people from California and Mexico. So I want to be with you now.
Nice. All right. So why don't you go ahead and try your screen sharing, make sure it works, and then you can take it away.
Yeah.
I noticed that you're wearing a winter jacket too, so it must be really cold there.
It's super cold, you can't believe it. All right, guys, let me briefly tell you why we created Draftium and why it exists on the market, why we think that, it's going to be useful for all of you guys. So basically the Draftium, the idea was we built a little background about myself. I'm David Brown. I'm a co-founder of TemplateMonster.com. Maybe many of you guys who are doing some websites, web design, Template Monster. We get over 3 million visitors every month. We are one of the top 100, websites in the world in terms of traffic. We started 16 years ago. I remember still when people had no Google, they used Yahoo and Alta Vista. And by that time, I already was building websites, starting from Photoshop files and converting them into HTML. And then some, content management systems era arrived when we had Joomla, Drupal, before the WordPress era. Now you got WordPress, then you get Magento, PrestaShop, you name it. There's a lot of tools. We've created templates and we sold lots of templates, and we did lots of custom websites. I had a huge discussion within with some guys on AppSumo that I said that we created over 2 million websites, custom websites for 16 years, and people started kind of criticize me. So and then I had to prove it. How Draftium actually started, my idea was after Template Monster, I started to think how do we create a McDonald's in a web design industry? And my target was how do we create 1,000 websites a day? So that most agencies, they actually feel proud if they complete 60 websites a year. I wanted 1,000 websites a day, and I didn't know how to do it properly. My initial idea was that the biggest issue for me to actually build this business model would be how to get so many leads, how to get so many customers. How do we get 1,000 customers a day? And it turned out to be that the lead generation process was not really the biggest issue, but the biggest issue was how to deliver those projects. Because some projects that we were aiming to create within 3 days actually ended up was for 45 days because we were really begging for the customer's content. I'm 100% sure you guys had this problem before, with getting the customer's content, and begging. One day you get the logo from the customer, another day he promises you to send some high resolution picture, and another day he sends you 2 paragraphs of text instead of 2 pages of text that he promised yesterday. And then, step by step, you get revision after revision after another revision. And sometimes you get, you get a negative margin. You were expecting to make money on the customer, and actually you started to lose money on the customer. So we tried to think, okay, maybe how to do the bigger agencies, solve the question. And it turned out to be that, they are using a prototyping tool. The most famous one is Balsamiq, like balsamiq.com. It's one of the first ones that appeared on the market. So I bought the license for the Balsamiq, and it turned out to be like to create a prototype in a Balsamiq prototype for 5 pages brochure look website. You spend like 1 or 2 days, basically exactly the same time that your coder would spend to create the whole website for the customer. I said, okay, it's not going to work. So let's try another one. Let's try InVision. Let's try UXPin. Let's try, prototype.io. I tried over 30 of those. And, the biggest issue was like you really spending at least 5 hours to build, the website prototype. I said, okay, stop. Now we stop. We need to come up with our own solution, because right now, like, we have to somehow minimize the number of revisions with our customers. So I started to think, okay, the biggest issue with the newbie was, how do you synchronize the website vision? How do you make sure that the customer has in mind the same idea as you do? How do you shape this idea, and how to find a possible, form factor? How do you show it to people? With Template Monster time, like, we were doing this through templates. We showed people, great templates so they visualize the end result, and it helps really to move forward with the process. So I said, okay, why don't we do the same with Draftium? Why don't we do the draft and we templatize them? So we build like lots of different templates for any kind of niche that you can imagine. And then we start with a template. So it's going to be like much, much easier to start to open up a conversation with our customers, right? And it should not take, like a lot of time. It should take probably, 15 minutes up to half an hour, where you dropped up, the joint vision together with the customer. And also, like, you need to get like a short time to collect the feedback, right? So this is how Draftium actually was born. We have a team of 70 people right now working for Draftium and WebLiam. WebLiam is a website builder. It's a different story. I won't really stop on that. And a Draftium is actually, like, for us, is a tool where we always, I call it a new brief. So we don't really work with briefs anymore, because I think the brief is only it's a friction point, in a way that you can win your customers. Because if you're a customer and you want to employ 1 or 2 or 3 agencies, what you are doing, you're coming to their websites, take a look at the portfolio, and if you like it, then you say, I want to build a website with you guys. What everybody does, they they send you a form and say, like, now complete the brief. And you get tired as a customer, because you complete 3 or 4 briefs at the same time. You don't know who to work with. Draftium is different. What we do, we say, okay, how about the Skype call, where we would do the screen sharing with you guys, and I will do this instant prototyping just while we speak, and this works like a magic. I saw many times when people, the customers, invited their, partners to say, listen, take a look what these guys are doing. They're building websites immediately on the way. This is like an online. Creates wow effect. And it is differentiating you from the other ones, because they use the traditional way. You can offer your customers brand new experience, and I think it really helps you to win the customer. Okay, and another thing, then you collect the feedback. So, like, you draft up something, a rough idea, and then you start identifying the gaps, because, like, all your job is to identify the gaps. So our process looks this way. By the way, this way we already built over 750 websites during just 3 months. It's not, I know that it's not 1,000 websites a day, still not close to it, but we are moving forward. We are growing like 40%, months over months with this, with this approach. So that is why I wanted you to see it, how it works, because we work with the partners. All of you guys could become our partners, and we would give you leads, because, like, we not, really making a website finally for the customers. We work as a studio for studios. We work as a studio lab. We have guys in Ukraine who has like really affordable, prices. And that is why, I think it's going to be easier, for us to win the market. So we build a prototype. Usually it takes for 15 to 20 minutes. Then, we show it to the customer, or we build it together with the customer. And then, we change layout in just a couple of clicks. And the customers really love it. They see it, okay, like it just takes you not 2 days, not 3 days, but just 2 or 3 minutes. Of course, to automate the process, that we use like over 300 plus, ready-made templates, and the big library of 250 plus blocks. we are adding up new blocks and templates on a weekly basis. So if you guys like buying the AppSumo lifetime deal, you can, and you have some great, like block that you are really missing to serve your customer, you just go to our chat and like tell us like what kind of block you need, and we will be happy to actually prioritize that stuff for you, and like add it to the library for all other people to use it. Then you collect feedback if you are working not for a customer, but you're working together. I don't know, like you're building the website for your company, right? You still have a couple of stakeholders. You get like one boss or two co-founders who need to like kind of join the vision. You get a like, I don't know, manager of the guys or big partner who you want to agree the website look and feel with. So we have like a feedback tool. It's basic. It's not like InVision like right now. We know that it's not the perfect right now, but we're going to change it, like, so there was the MVP version of the feedback collection. And then we test result on all devices. The beauty of Draftium, it works instantly. You create it once on the desktop. You don't think even about it, like iPad, horizontal, vertical, and then phone, iPhone, I don't know, Android phone. So we tested out on 45 different devices. All the blocks are already basically like adaptive and responsive, so you don't have to worry about it. So like it's automatically built on all devices. Okay, so when we created the tool, it's like a pretty much new, like I think it's about 6 months old. We already got like more than 10,000 active users. We became #1 design tool of the year on the product hunt. We got this little golden kitty award, and I really like it, because we got so much, great positive feedback, with the product hunt community. I hope we're gonna get the same, like from you guys, like from AppSumo. You get the like 2 types of deals with AppSumo. Just like the $39 deal is actually giving you everything besides the custom, like domain name, so which you should plug in. You only can have 10 concurrent projects at the same time. I think that guys, like like if you run a small agency, like 3 to 5 people, you really don't need more, unless you want to create an archive of the previous, prototypes. So 10 concurrent projects really serve the purpose. But if you want to really go unlimited, then it's like super cheap again, like, so then you can lift all the limits, like, and just pay 79. And then, like I want to run some, little live demo for you guys, like, so you better know how it works. So for example, this is the website, the prototype that we built like for, a generic IT startup. So like the header, like the partners, like a section with, like with some illustrations where you can specify your features, some, integration partners like live demo, possibilities and stuff like that. So basically, like many people really love that it's, so I had some discussion with you guys, like if it's gonna be allowed within, if we should allow colors, for prototyping process, and I really strongly against it. I will tell you why. Because like when you start adding colors, you get so many mixed up feelings with the customer. You said, okay, I generally like it, but I don't really like this, this little green button. Can you change the color for it? Okay, I like it, but I don't need this illustration because like it's irritating colors for me. So when you start adding colors, I think it brings a lot of new frustration, like to the customer's process, and you actually start maximizing the number of revisions versus minimizing, So when you register with the Draftium, you basically get this blank window asking you to create your first prototype. You just press create new, and you get open. We call this template explorer, which allows you either to start with a blank prototype, or you find one of the templates. We got 3 templates. So with your lifetime deal, you get access to all of the templates. So see how many sections do we get? Like we get consumer services, we get repair, cleaning, we get floral studio, PC repair, I don't know, dating agency, whatever you name it. So we try to cover all possible niches, and we are not putting, like this stupid lorem ipsum generic text. We actually have a industry analytics. Maybe it's like too bold to say industry analytics, but we have special people who analyze from 10 to 50 websites in this niche, and they try to actually, kind of rewrite the text and, utilize the sections, typical sections for this niche. And I think it really works, to win the customer's mindset, because they already kind of feel that it's almost done. For example, recently we got this hype with, ICO and blockchain. So let's try, for example, all right, so like I press start editing. And when I press start editing, it actually loads up in an editing mode. So you can now start, getting, so like it's a little bit slow at the beginning. So as you see, but you already have a pre-filled, the whole website. And what you can do right now, like you can do different things. For example, I want to switch this block with another block. So I just like press this little arrow. As you can see now, it's switched. So now I have, where I lost it. Yeah, here. So now it's down. The advantages are down. This is up, right? So now let me, for example, I want to change this little icon, so then we plugged in, some icons, and they are already pre-sorted. So to have the same look and feel from the same icon set. So I just like click here, for example, and I got, security, it's not relevant. So like, let me find something more relevant for the security, right? So like I try to find it. If I cannot find it properly, so what I do, like I just like search for security, and see, like what the library. Sometimes this search works not really so fast because we're using one of the largest renowned projects. So we bought the license from them. So all the content here is licensed content. So you don't have to worry about the licensing stuff. You actually save additional money on the licensing fees. So let's say I put this one as a security. Okay, I'm not sure, Then, for example, I want to change some, our advantages. Like say, like I want to say our advantages. See, it's like a click and go. If I want to change the layout, I just press on block settings. See, we call this micro modification. Now you can see block description. So it's adding up automatically. For example, I can turn it off here. See, turn on, turn off. Or I can put a button downstairs. So I can have additional button here. So let me put like this too. So here I want to change the button, not from learn more. Let's say I want to say, I don't know what I say. I say, give me money. I don't know, give me money. So, and now I can specify the call to action here. So I can open a new page. If I have some more pages, this is one pager now. Or I can have, I can scroll. Let me see like what options we have here. So I can scroll to a particular block. I can jump to block to another page, or I can open up a totally new web address, or I can have a phone number or email. So like if I put, phone or email, then you get, a different. So I can do the design. I can change the button, in design field, I can make a large button, for example. So let me put it, go to global button style. Okay. And animation, so I won't just like, use animation for this approach. So what we got, like, see, I got a bigger button, give me money, which kind of, like I did not specify where it should go to, but you can easily do it. What else? We have, like, for example, here we got a timeline, and you can change it, or again, you can drag and drop. See? So for example, I wanted drag and drop. You see this like little cross, and then you can drop, drag and drop mechanism, or you can remove the one. For example, we don't need this, or I don't really, my customer says I don't like it, so we just like remove it completely, right? Or I want to add some blocks. So let's try to add some blocks here. All the blocks are divided into, must-have, essentials, and additional. So let's say we want to add, I don't know, some numbers, impressive numbers to impress our customers. So we take this one. Yeah, so we got, this impressive numbers. Again, you can easily change, whatever it's called collection. So like if I want to add something here, see, I press 1, so I get another one. I press another one, so I get another one. Then, like a little bit changing, here. I change the icon, like I put it here, for example. And here, I want to change the icon here too. So basically, you don't need any onboarding for this, like you just like start doing this. What I like really, like we don't even have onboarding tour because people are finding this. So, and I don't this learn more button, I want to delete it. So like I go again to, micro modification and just plug off the button, so like it's done, right? So what else like I wanted to show you, you can embed, you know, like email form, you know, like when we have a little form builder here. For example, I can add some field. I can add, I don't know, name. Let's say like I want to add some name. Oh, something weird is happening here. Oops, name. Let me see. Why is this like make this required? Name and description, please tell. This is should not be. This is a glitch. Tell your name. Shit happens, you know, while you're doing the demo. I'll try. I'll try to fix it. Something. No. Something is bad. So let me see. Okay, I got it. I know what it is. This is because I should not really add the name into email form. So let me just like replace it with something better looking. So I delete this form completely, and then I add something like I go to contacts, for example. I find a better form, or I go to, where should I go? Let's see, text, quote. Ta, 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 ta. I get elements. So I get, let's say, this form. All right, so like, and then I want to customize this form. So I don't need this little, you know, little numbers. Just 1 second. So this is CPA. Yes, I don't need a block title. I don't need the description. I just need to correct this thing, you know, like, so I get, for example, the phone goes first. The name, you know, I can make it not really essential. And then an email, let's have it an email. So I can have it this way. Yeah, what else? Yeah, some people, yeah, now like the beauty of it, now you can also, like, by the way, customize the menu. We have a menu builders that way where you can see, you can change, you know, the order, or you can make it sub menus. See, I just like made the sub menu, or I put demo as sub menu 2, you know, like, so we have demo, you know, basically we have now 2 sub menus, so I can show it to you. And now if you want to start sharing this with your customer, you just like press a comment mode, allow it a little bit to cache, because like it's right now it's actually rendering the whole website. And now you have this, you know, website, and the customer could start adding your comments. For example, I said, okay, just I don't like it, you know, like remove this ugly header, you know. So let's say our customer wants to put this, and he said like, I don't like this one too. I don't like this one too. Yeah, okay. And then, you know, like you start getting those, you know, like you can resolve this. So once the customer starts, you know, living this, you start replying basically and say, okay, you know, like, okay, got it, you know, and so you basically like have a like sort of like a, you know, Google Docs thing, and then you can mark them resolved. So once we remove it, so we just like resolve it. Once we remove it here, so like once you replied it, you know, like works fine now. And you can also mark this resolved, you know, like, and everybody will see that it's resolved. So I think that, yeah, and then you can preview it, you know, like once you can do the publishing, or you can do the preview mode. So let's see. So like you see it on the desktop, you can also see in a tablet mod to see how it's rendering properly or not, you know. And then you can see the mobile, you know, mobile preview, which is also like already optimized and pre-optimized. You get this, you know, hamburger menu, and you get call to action. Yeah, back to editor. So guys, I think that I did it really fast. I'm not sure, you know, maybe it was too fast for you guys, but maybe we leave more room for questions and answers, because I know you guys like right now taking a look and, you know, have probably lots of different questions. So let me see our advisors. So like Christy, I think that we should start with questions and answers.
Sure. So I'll ask you probably the most frequently asked question that we've had so far, and that was about using this with WordPress.
Yeah, guys.
Can they use this with WordPress, and how to do that?
Let me tell you the story. Like, eventually we want to use it with WordPress, because like the majority of people actually, and nevertheless they ask for it. You know, like So the thing is like to make it in a WordPress in a native format. In a native format, I mean you just press one click export, and then you get all those blocks in a special Draftium theme, like a default theme where you get a properly coded all the things that you already pre-built with Draftium. It's only possible, can become possible, when the WordPress announced their Gutenberg, so the new WordPress version called Gutenberg. They promised to deliver it 3 months ago, and eventually, you know, like they only brought it, so the Gutenberg works now only with the body of the WordPress text. So you cannot really replicate with Gutenberg the whole website. I mean, header, footer, sidebar, all the parts of the website are not covered by the Gutenberg yet. So we are waiting for the phase 2. I cannot give you a false promises because, you know, like this is we fully, you know, depending on the WordPress now. So hypothetically, our template monster engineers who work with WordPress heavily, they told us that, you know, like it shouldn't be a big deal to actually have a conversion mechanism from the Draftium prototypes into WordPress theme. But I still cannot really promise it. So like I can promise that we will try, because, you know, this is beyond our power. You know, like I don't know what happens in this phase 2 Gutenberg. It's not going to work with Elementor or Breezy. So people who are working, we have a lot of customers who work with Elementor. They just recreate it. So they use Draftium to kind of synchronize look and feel of their future website with the customer. And then they open up some Elementor templates and just recreate, you know, in colors, you know. So that is why, you know, like this is like a real straightforward answer to you guys. I know that some of you are upset that you cannot really make it so easy in WordPress. But this is because WordPress is a complex system, so they cannot really, you know, properly deliver it. Okay.
Good answer. All right. We had a couple questions about the different templates. It said, can you save a template once you create it as a base for other sites?
Yeah, actually, what we have a copy of your previous prototype, so you can copy it to the new project. That's what I'm doing myself a lot. So, for example, if I build the webinar website, you know, webinar prototype, and really like I'm doing it for another client, what I'm doing, I'm just copying this one, you know, into a new project and just, you know, like tweaking a couple of things like putting customer's logo, you know, renaming the webinar subject, and I'm up and running immediately, right? So you don't have to, yeah, you can reuse this, right? We are also coming up with presets, so we would be able to let you guys to save presets, you know, because everybody works his own unique way. And another big, you know, big requests from all of our customers is multi-user access. I know you guys are really starving for this, so we're gonna come up with the, you know, multi-user access, so you can give your copywriter, you know, like the exact access to just edit text and not to break up, you know, the whole layout. Or you want to give the customer just, you know, like commenting rights and not give him an ability, you know, like to really break things that you already pre-built.
Okay. And Andrew asked, can templates be organized into groups or project folders?
For now, not really, but what we organize them in our template explorer into categories and subcategories. I believe that Andrew wants to have like his own folders and subfolders. At the moment, we don't have it. You know, unfortunately, probably it's a good idea. You know, like once you start, you know, growing the number of prototypes, you probably need to, you know, sort them out properly. This is a great advice. You know, think about it and put it in a roadmap. I know guys like we are getting late with the roadmap, public roadmap, but that's just because we cannot properly really prioritize the stuff, because you guys like are really not tempted, you know, like are you impatient enough, you know. Every day I'm getting like 5 to 10 different requests, so we need to sit down and prioritize them properly and then publish. I don't want to really like bring the false promises, so that is why, you know, like I'm really reluctant to overpromise, because our policy is, you know, under promise and over deliver always. So that is, you know, like our philosophy. I saw the question about the HTML export, so we would have soon, very soon, because it's under our control. We're not relying it from the third parties, so we would have an export to the clean HTML. I'm not sure, guys, like how it would help you to build the websites from it, but we will make it because everybody wants it. Why not? You know, like it's quite easy to do it for us.
Awesome. So we had a couple questions about the white label. Can you explain like how this is white labeled?
So basically the white label works like, so when we publish some prototypes, they're published on blah, 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 .draftium.site. So if you wanna all the drafts being published, blah, 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 .yourdomainname.com or, that website or whatever. So you just like go to the chat, and we do it through the chat operator because like initially we had it inside the interface, and many people, because they already have operational domain name, they've actually broke it, like, so some people like lost their access to their mailboxes and so on. So now we are, conscious. So we are asking you to provide a domain name, and then we're giving you exact, domain settings that you have to change with your registrar. So you will be able to publish it on your domain name.
Okay. Let's see. Jack is asking, at what point can the client see the prototype? Does it have to be published first, then edit, and then republish?
Yeah, it has to be published. Basically, it has to be published. And what we are doing is, exactly as I showed it to you right now over the screen sharing, I prefer to do it with the customer live. Because again, guys, you want to create a wow effect. You say like, wow, I really love how you start building my website just right now without waiting for this big, brief, filling up this forms and so on. So I strongly advise, it's not obligation for you, but I strongly advise you to, to do it at least once to see, the effect that you are bringing, like how you're impressing your customers.
Okay. We had a couple questions about different languages. Is this only available in English, or are there other languages available?
Yeah, the interface is in English, but it's multi-language. It's even supporting right to left, languages. So I saw some prototypes that people did in Yiddish, and Israeli guys and some Arabic guys. So it doesn't limit you because we use multilingual Google fonts. So they all, supporting all kind of, Cyrillic or whatever, fonts, symbols, I mean. So that is why, but the interface will stay in English. Honestly, it's super easy, stupid easy to use. So we don't really want to, to translate it.
Okay. Let's see. I know you showed some of the icons that you said were licensed, and someone's asking, are those icons okay to use in the client's final website as well?
Well, yes, I think so, because like the thing is, like, our license says that you can create a derivative projects, based on, like Draftium. So basically, like, if you are using the known projects icons and then you create a website starting from the draft, you can come back and say, I got it from the Draftium, I built a draft, and I actually modified my draft into a website, which is covered by the license. So I think that it's yes. I'm not a lawyer, but like I have enough experience with dealing with copyright, infringement stuff. So I think, guys, like, yeah, we can save your ass in this, at this point.
Okay, good. So Henry's asking, how can I change the design of a block without losing the content?
Yeah, actually, it's not losing. Oh, you mean that you already like kind of pre-filled the content and then you want to change the block completely? We are working on that. It's not ready yet, but you might lose some content because, for example, on the screen right now, you see our advisors section. Let's say you want to change it to something, more with more features. So if you, for example, like these people, like the team's names, if the new block will not contain it, so it's not going to be showed up, so you're going to lose it, right? Anyway, but we're going to repeat. So if there will be some, I don't know, you change it to our team instead, and then you will see, the same names and the same pictures, like saved with the draft. So I think that, we are coming up. We call it Reroll Block, like Reroll. So once you start re-rolling blocks, the content is going to stay the same.
Okay, awesome. Mark is asking, do you have templates for single page websites?
Yeah, of course. Like most, like not most, but probably like half of those, templates are single page websites. So, and eventually, like if you really like some layout and it's multi-page, you just like go and press delete 5 times and you are single page now. So it's super easy. Like our philosophy, by the way, just create by removing, but not, adding up the stuff. So it's so much easier just to click, your mouse and just remove things that you don't need versus start adding up some things.
All right. Melody is asking, do you have a vertical menu block?
Vertical, yeah, we do have a roll a drop down menu, a vertical menu. I believe you are talking about some sidebars. We don't have sidebars yet, but we are coming up with that. Like a lot of people are asking for sidebars, so I think that they're on the way.
Okay. And we had a couple people asking about whether you can password protect these pages.
Yeah, for now, I don't know like what's the reason for that. Honestly, we got a couple of like, can you specify what's the reason? Because it's a secret URL. Nobody knows your drafts URL, right? So you just give it to the customer you want to share it with. So no other will have the access anyway. So what's the reason to have it password protected? Like, can you explain to me, why?
Yeah. So someone was saying because they didn't want Google to crawl it.
Oh, it's easy. So you go to SEO settings and you just like turn off it modifies automatically robots.txt, so Google will never crawl it. So it's not like you don't need password protected stuff for this.
Awesome. Okay. And so Elizabeth is saying, I created a template in Draftium, then imported it into WebLiam. Now it's gone in Draftium. Can I get my prototype back into Draftium?
Yeah. You just like talk to the chat. I think it's a glitch, so it should be done like this. By the way, yeah. So like because it's like it's sharing the same code base with WebLiam. So for now, like moving the draft from Draftium to WebLiam is super easy. I think that many of you guys like actually requesting the same experience with WordPress. So again, as I said, like once WordPress will roll out their Gutenberg phase 2, I will have a public post, or even we would probably have another webinar with Christy, and we would invite you guys like to share how we could do it, what are the obstacles, if any, and then we will draft the exact roadmap how we bring it to the WordPress.
Okay, awesome. And so we had a couple people asking about, I hear you saying, these are, there are things on the roadmap. Will the people who purchase the AppSumo deal get these new features that are coming down?
Yeah, of course. Like AppSumo, we love AppSumo so much, like, and AppSumo actually like very insisting partner. So you don't have a right actually not to include it. So you guys all covered by AppSumo.
Awesome. And so Jeff is asking, is there possible linking to WebLiam soon?
Yeah, linking, yes. So it's gonna be like soon we're gonna add like one-click export. It's already like we are doing this through the chat. Yeah, but again, guys, like Draftium is a separate product from WebLiam, so like it has its own future, and we already have like, I can give you like a rough stats. Out of 10,000 users, only about 1,000 of those using WebLiam as a website building platform for those drafts. 9,000 are using Joomla, Drupal, WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, you name it. So they're using their favorite website building tool and use Draftium only as a prototyping tool to synchronize, their vision with their customers.
Okay. And so Mark would like it if you could describe the $79 unlimited deal. So when they stack twice, what they get.
Yeah. So when you stack, you basically get fully unlimited. So like we don't limit you with the number of concurrent projects. So you basically like can create an individual prototype for any individual project that you have. And also like it gives you like fully white label stuff, like so you can have your domain name included, like you can have, once we add multi-user access, you can have all your company and all your customers login in and edit particular drafts. So like the same as you do, guys, like most of you, I believe, are using Google Docs. So if I create a particular Google Doc and I want to share it, just this doc with Christy, I give the permission just to share, this particular doc, right? So the same stuff will be available for, the Draftium Unlimited. So you can do like as many projects as you want and share it with as many people as you want.
Awesome. And Saeed is asking, do you have pop-ups?
Not yet. We're actually thinking about how to do it properly within the interface. Definitely it's on the agenda because like a lot of people asking pop-ups, pop-unders, exit pop-ups, like lots of different stuff like that. Because nowadays, if you are prototyping a landing page, you cannot live without all those, little things, right? So that is why, like we will have it, for sure we will have it.
All right. And Jose is asking, what is your relationship with WebLiam?
Yeah, it's the same company. Actually, like I myself, a co-founder of WebLiam and Draftium. So Draftium was born as a prototyping tool, as I said to you, to create a lot of, websites. And WebLiam is basically like Squarespace-like tool to create websites. So it's not a prototyping tool, it's a building tool. It's actually a competitor to WordPress. Not a real competitor for now in terms of functionality, but definitely a competitor in terms of user experience.
Awesome. All right. And so Bill's asking how to stack. And Bill, you could just buy another code, and that's how you would stack another to get the additional functionality. Awesome. All right. Let's see. We're almost through the questions here. Let me see if I have any others. So someone's asked, Ian's asking, do you have a time frame in mind for when this HTML export will be available?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like roughly about 1.5 months. I know what's stopping us. We already have HTML exports internally, but we need to rebuild and recode, get rid basically of JavaScript through all these 250 plus blocks. So once we rebuild them, then we will add it publicly, export to HTML, because we already have it working, but it's not compatible with all the blocks. So the experience will not be as seamless as we want to. So that is why we need some time to do this conversion.
Awesome. Okay, so I think that's most of the questions. David, why don't you let them know where they can reach out to you if they have questions after this webinar?
Sure, guys. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that, like I've got here in the presentation, I got Draftium. This is our Draftium stuff, but you can also like reach out to me, myself personally. I'll give you my my email. My personal email address is davidbraun@gmail.com. And guys, like I really enjoy talking to AppSumo audience. You are very, very active. Sometimes you are harsh. Sometimes, like we have a strong battle. But, like I really understand, because we're going to marry forever. You are buying the lifetime. So I'm going to live with you, all my life. So that is why, like I want to know you better. You want to know me better. So that is why I think it's important to know each other.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that perspective. We're in this all together, guys. All right, for a lifetime. Awesome. So David, thank you so much for doing this demo. This was really helpful. And for those of you who are still here, thank you for sticking around till the end. As I mentioned earlier, I will be sending out a replay of this webinar later. So if you haven't already, head on over to AppSumo and get Draftium. Or if you have already and you still have time to buy another code. Again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. Christy, I think it was good.